For much more on the Canadians, let's bring Bob Weeks into the conversation now. And Bob, you got to think Mike Weir loved what he saw from his Canadians last week at the Procore Championship.
Yeah, I think this shows you how pumped up these two guys are, Corey Conners and Mac Hughes. And Mac Hughes, you know, last time when he got left off the team, he really wanted to play in Charlotte because that's where he makes his home now. He wanted to be on that team, and when he wasn't, he kind of went out shortly thereafter and won for the second time. He's doing the same thing now. He's using this to sort of pump himself up. And for Corey Conners, I think it's really interesting to note that his putting stats were pretty good, 0.8 plus on the plus side. That's really better than his average for this year. So he's coming in, hitting the ball well off the tee, hitting the ball well into the greens, and putting pretty well as well. So I think if you look at the two guys, what they did there, what they accomplished, and how they're feeling about not only their games, but the energy surrounding the team, I think this is a really good sign for Mike Weir and for the international team.
Certainly a great sign for sure. Mac and Corey playing great at the Procore Championship. I heard a rumor that Taylor Pendrith set a course record in the GTA recently as well. So the Canadians playing some great golf. And Bob, just how important is it for these Canadians to be playing competitive golf heading into the President's Cup, given that these guys haven't played a lot of golf really since closing out the FedEx Cup playoffs?
Yeah, I think there's a fine balance. I think you want to come in having little or no rust on your game, which is why I think Corey and Mac chose to play. And Minwoo Lee was the other guy on that international team who played at the Procore Championship. But I think there's also a sense that you need some rest. This is a long week. There's a lot of stuff that happens during the President's Cup. There's a lot of formalities. There's the opening ceremonies. You're going back and forth with the team on a bus. You can't really pick your own timetable. If you want to go early to the range, well, you know, you got to get on the bus with everybody else. So there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes at a President's Cup, and you want to come in rested. So I think that's the other part of it. Yep, my game's okay, but I do want to be ready to play. And you could play 5 matches in 4 days, so that's the other part of it.
Yeah, but we should also point out that Mike Weir also got off to a great start last week at the Procore Championship. Yes, he didn't make the cut, but Weir's still playing some great golf. Now, before we go to break, we got to talk about Canadian Ben Silverman. He finished T4 last week. That's his best ever finish in his PGA Tour career. Bob, this is a great story for a player who works really hard, isn't it?
It definitely is, and you talk about that hard work. I mean, here's a guy who spends long hours on the range and on the putting green and in the gym. He posts some of his workouts on his social media account, and I just am exhausted just looking at them. He works so hard to keep that body in shape, and he is in a situation right now where he needs to play well. He wants to stay inside that top 125 and keep his starts. He's 109th right now, and he's playing some good golf, so hopefully he can keep going through this fall finish.
And for Ben Silverman, it's his first top 10 in his last 28 worldwide starts. So a great finish there for Ben Silverman.